All right, guys, so we are ready to make our third piece of art for our Agamograph. Remember that our Agamograph is going to be made using 3 separate pieces of artwork. At this point, you should have completed 2 pieces that look similar to this. They didn't have to be identical, but you should have one with a white background and black spots or circles. And you should also have one that has white and black stripes, with the black stripes being more prominent, meaning taking up the majority of the page. So here's where we get to have a lot of fun. This is where your creativity comes into play. And you're not just copying my work, okay? So there's so much room for creativity on this part of the assignment. So this piece specifically is going to be what our viewer sees when they are looking straight ahead at our Agamograph. So let's talk about the criteria for this. I have 2 different examples here. Both address the criteria I'm about to go over. Both would be 100% acceptable. So let's talk about what we have to include. So when you take a look at this, the first thing that you're probably going to notice is that while they're not identical, they have a lot of similarities. So the use of white and black is happening in both of them. So you must incorporate the use of black and white in your artwork. And then very importantly, you must use rainbow colors in a prominent way, meaning I want it to be an area of focus. I don't want something that's just one tiny circle done with rainbow colors. So we know from what we read about Yaakov Agam that the rainbow holds a great deal of significance for him, and we definitely want to incorporate that in our work inspired by him. So here in this piece, we see the rainbow used in the background, whereas in this one, we see the rainbow looping through and coming from the top corner and down to the bottom corner here. Either is acceptable, but again, you need to make sure that you are using that rainbow pattern color as a prominent feature in your artwork. Now, you could be quite literal with that, and you could actually draw a rainbow. You could do something that looks more like this. You can even get creative and use the rainbow color in the background and switch up. I have what represents a rainbow here, but in black and white. So again, a lot of room for creativity. So black and white must be used, prominent use of rainbow colors. You must include stripes in some way, whether that's through the rainbow itself. So we have stripes of colors going through this rainbow, or in this one we see a lot of stripes. So we have stripes in color, but we also have stripes in black and white. And then of course you're going to be incorporating those circles or dots that we had from the first piece. So this idea is we're taking elements of these 2 pieces and kind of squishing them together, throwing in this beautiful bright rainbow color and coming up with a piece that's drawing elements together from those to hopefully tie all of the pieces together. So dots and circles, a variety of sizes. And I also want you to begin to look at overlapping in your work. So we really didn't do any overlapping in either of these, but here's where we're going to start playing with that a little bit. So when I say overlapping, we're creating the illusion of overlapping. So if we look at this, it looks like this circle here is behind this rainbow. The way the rainbow is laid out, it also looks like the actual stripes of color are behind it. This circle looks behind the rainbow, but also looks to be on top of the colors. So this illusion, this thought process of how do we make it look like things are layered, okay? Same thing over here. We're seeing that this circle is on top of this rainbow. We're seeing that happen with some little dots here and there. So again, this idea of layering things on top of each other to make the artwork more interesting. Okay. So let's talk about some of the things that you might want to consider now that we've talked about the different ideas. So you're going to be using a 9x12 sheet of white paper because all of your papers should be the same dimension. So we've been working on 9x12 paper. At the beginning of the project, I provided each table with a bag of patterns with different circles and with compasses. So you had a safety compass that you could use to do the small circles. You could also use it to do bigger circles if you're adept at using this. If you're not adept at using it, you can go ahead and continue to use the circle patterns that I made for each table. Okay, so you have those. You will also have a pattern at your table that looks like this. Now, you can see that I used the exact size of that pattern right there, but you can also change the height of the pattern and where it's placed. You don't have to use the pattern at all. These are all optional things. So you could change the height of the rainbow by making it lower down. So you could have potentially a rainbow here, and maybe you want to do an upside down rainbow here. Or maybe you want to do one coming from the side here, and then one going in the opposite direction on the other side. So here's another pattern. Let me show you what that would kind of look like. So maybe something that looks like this. So many ways to get creative with just these simple guidelines, okay? So these are available to you to use if you like, but again, you don't have to use them. The other thing I want to talk about are the colors. So I'll give you the specific colors I used from our classroom, but of course you can change these a little bit if you want to use a different color of yellow or a different color of blue, that's fine. The pattern that the rainbow usually that we typically look at, you're often taught Roy G. Biv. We are not going to include indigo, so we're going to work with, this is just regular red, regular orange, and then I switched it up, and instead of using regular yellow, I used laser lemon. It gives you more of almost like a highlighter yellow. And then I used electric lime, again, to really brighten some of those up. This is Blue Lagoon, and for this one, I used ultraviolet. Again, you don't have to use these exact same colors. I would expect to see red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, but maybe you're just gonna use regular blue and regular purple. That's fine with me, okay? Obviously, the black, we have Sharpies that you can continue to use for that section, okay? So I think that just about goes over everything you need to know, because there's not going to be a step-by-step guided tutorial for this. I don't want you to copy mine. I want you to come up with something of your own. So remember, black and white, prominent use of rainbow colors, stripes, dots or circles, and layering or overlapping of the circles and stripes and rainbows, okay? So working on that idea of layering things in your artwork. So I can't wait to see what you come up with. I know these are going to be great, and I'm really excited to see how our final pieces turn out.